Happy birthday if it's your birthday, happy belated birthday if it's in the past, happy future birthday if it's in the future. My name is Lime Green, and welcome back to the Star Wars tier list. I just finished watching all the Star Wars movies, all the numbered ones, for the first time ever. And now we're gonna rank them. First episode, we did all the sequel series. And let's look at the rules. Wow, we look at all the rules. And what's this? It's something I forgot to mention the first time. So, first episode, we talked 30 minutes about the sequel series, and I couldn't believe I talked that much. But this is my biggest gripe with the sequel series, honestly. So right now, like, if you put the prequels and the original series together, it goes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's just an eternal loop. You can watch them endlessly, in a loop forever. But then, this sounds crazy. I loved how this was, because I played the Lego Star Wars games before even watching Star Wars. And I was like, wow, you can just do that forever. It's a perfect loop. And now it's like you got a weird 7 off of 6. But I would like it if they did, like, I don't know, kind of like a 7, like an alternate universe type of deal. You know what I'm saying? Like a Star Fox. I don't know if you're picking it up while I'm lying down, but just so they can have the perfect ring. So then they can do 10 and 11. And then that completes a perfect ring as well. If that makes sense, I don't know. I like my symmetry. But jumping back to the rules, we're only talking about the mainline Star Wars movies. We ain't talking about Skeleton Crew, Ahsoka, none of that. I'm going to try and take all points into consideration. Legacy of the series. Luke, I am your father. Is that worthy of being like a top tier movie? Just off that quote. Music is Metroid, because we already used Star Fox in the MCU tier list videos, and I'm not a film critic. So please don't roast me, because I'm just someone who just watched the movies. Last time, I talked a lot about how this movie was not called The Rise of Skywalker, it was called The Last Skywalker. Might be. Rise of Skywalker haters, you win this round. That's why it can be so low. I don't know. I thought, I went into this whole thing, I was like, it could be, it could be called The Last Skywalker, because, Rey could be Luke's daughter, and she's gonna be the only one alive, and that was an argument I was making, and it didn't even make sense. So, I don't know. Pee-pee poo-poo. Jumping into the actual topic, Return of the Jedi. I don't think people like this one as much as the other two in the original trilogy. I just think of green when I think of this movie. I'll put this here for now. That's not where I'm putting it. I'm just placing it there. It's got Jabba the Hutt. And, when people say Leia is kind of like a damsel in distress, I don't really see her as that, because like she's captured in this movie, and then like the moment she gets freed, she like grabs a blaster and she's fighting, and then in this movie, like she gets captured, and then immediately, well, not immediately, the first chance, that's the better word for it. The first opportunity she gets, she just like takes Jabba the Hutt out with like the chains she's imprisoned in. And then the sequel trilogy, she's just like leading an army. Boba Fett just kind of falls down the Sarlacc pit. It's a good movie. Yoda's in it a little bit. And it's got the Darth Vader confrontation. This is the one where Palpatine dies. We went into that a little bit last episode. I said, yeah, I can kind of see where you guys are coming from. How Palpatine could have not survived the explosion, but I'm like, he survived a lightning blast to the face. I can see both sides of that argument. I think also this one ends with like, all the Star Wars movies kind of end like on a very somber note, or it just ends with like someone holding something up and they're like, there is peace in the galaxy, and that's like the funniest thing to me. And then like next movie it's like, suddenly there is war, and you're like, what's going on? I think that's the best place for it. Like celestial tier. I feel like I would be destroyed if I did not put this one up here. This is the one where it's like, Luke, I am your father. And then he's like, no, how can this happen to me? It also starts off very crazily where Luke's like traversing, I don't want to say the wrong name. I believe it's Naboo. Is it Naboo? I need to double check. The snowy wilderness, and Han needs to save him with his lightsaber. Naboo. I typed in baboon. I keep typing B instead of Naboo. Is it, that's not Naboo. I'm terrible with snowy snow planet Star Wars. It's Hoth. That just tells you how bad I am at Star Wars. Okay, so it's Hoth, and they got the walkie guys. Oh. Yeah, they got the walkie guys. They tie him up. And that's like the first time you really even see him. Plus, in Return of the Jedi, they explain like Luke and Leia are like twins and sisters, and that like has implications that like bring down both A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, and that kind of brings Return of the Jedi down a tier, just thinking about that. I don't know. Also, I didn't like the little gremlin looking guys. What are those guys called? I forgot about those little guys. I always forget about them every time. I'll say the original trilogy I've watched twice. Is I watched it in release order. And then I was like, what the heck's going on? Why does Palpatine look like that? And then I watched them in chronological order. Like episode 1, episode 2, episode 3. And I was like, whoa, this makes sense. Little guys. Little bears called Ewoks. Now this, what is that? That's not what I want. This is the one I want. Now, A New Hope. I can never for a long time I could never start A New Hope. And I've said this before because it was very sandy. We started it in music class for us, like, I don't think we watched the whole movie, but they turned it on, and they're like, "Oh man, let's watch Star Wars: A New Hope." And I was like, "Brother, all there was sand. I can't do anything with sand." That one movie, or the one video game, Journey, I believe it is. Journey 2014. 2014, is that what I'm thinking of? Game 2012, I said. That has a lot of sand, and I'm like, I just check out. And once you get past the sand part, I'm a little more into it. It's very interesting, how it builds upon itself, and you see the seeds of everything's there from the start. Ben, I cracked up when I was like, why is his name Ben? Apparently that's a fake name, but why did he choose Ben of all things? And then Darth Vader kills Obi-Wan, spoiler alert, and he just leaves behind his clothes, and that's crazy. The first time I watched it all the way through, I'll say, I was kind of zoned out, because I've seen the Phineas and Ferb version of Star Wars, and I kind of expected everything that would, happen. I've seen all the plot threads before, because this has seeped into, all facets of media. And I don't think that really takes away from it. It just kind of means that it's grown more than itself. If anything, that really feeds more into the legacy and the impact of it. The second time through, like I said, I watched the original trilogy twice. Because the first time through, I watched the original trilogy, and I took like a year off to like digest them, and then I was like, I was gonna watch the prequels after, and then I don't know, I just I just didn't watch them, and then eventually I watched the prequels, and then I'm like, well, might as well watch the original trilogy. And then the second time through, I really vibed with it. And a lot of my questions, like I said before, got answered. I was like, what's up with the Ben just standing there getting vaporized? Why does Palpatine look like that? Why is Darth Vader look like that? Why is there a Wilhelm scream in Star Wars? Very put together. And I think I really agree with how the tier list is shaped up so far. The only thing I'm not really sure of is these two. I think I'll keep it until part 3. But I like it so far. I think I'm done. But what do you guys think? Is the original trilogy your favorite? Is the sequel trilogy your favorite? Or is the prequels your favorite? I think in the first episode I was like, you kind of have to treat each trilogy by itself, almost. Because, you know, they released almost like 10 years apart from each other or something like that. Maybe even longer. It's like an Avatar. I made a lot of Avatar comparisons last time, and you know, there's not a lot of characters that make it from one trilogy to the next trilogy. Besides like R2-D2 and C-3PO, which I really liked how they appeared in the prequels. So, what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Please don't hate this too much. And I'll see you next time for when we do the prequels. Okay, bye-bye.